Hello everyone, welcome to course study on solid mechanics. In today's lecture, again we are going to discuss the numerical based on the Euler's formula. In the previous lecture, we discussed the first numerical based on the Euler's formula. So we will discuss the second numerical based on the same formula. The problem statement is as follows. Determine the crippling load for a hollow rectangular cast iron column of outer dimension 100 mm by 80 mm and the thickness of metal is 10 mm. Actual height of the column is 6 meter with both ends fixed. Take E is equal to 120 GPa. So as per the problem statement, we have to determine the crippling load for a hollow rectangular cast iron column which has the outer dimension, that is its width into height is 100 mm by 80 mm and the thickness is also given, it is 10 mm. The height of the column is 6 meters. So height is nothing but it is the length of the column with the both ends fixed. Take E is equal to 120 GPa. So the end condition given is both ends are fixed. Okay. So first of all, we will find out the internal dimension of the hollow cast iron column, because those dimensions, those are the external dimension and the thickness is 10 mm. So once we know the value of external dimension and the thickness, we can easily find out the value of internal dimension, and it is given by b small b is nothing but it's a width of the column is equal to capital B minus twice t. Okay, so the capital B is nothing but 100 minus twice t is 2 into 10. Therefore we have the internal dimension, internal width 80 mm. Internal width is nothing but it is 80 mm. Now we will find out the internal depth also. It is equal to capital D minus twice t, that is external depth minus twice t. So we will have the internal depth 60 mm. So in this manner we have the internal dimension 80 mm by 60 mm. Okay, now the end condition is both end fixed one. So as both ends are fixed, the effective length can be given by L upon 2, that is half of the length. Therefore we will have the effective length 3000 mm, because 6000 divided by 2, it will become 3000 mm. After finding out the effective length, we are going to find out the value of least moment of inertia, because it is least moment of inertia because about that axis the buckling of column will take place. So we have to find out the least moment of inertia. For that purpose we will require to find out Ixx and Iyy, and out of these two value we are going to consider the minimum one. Okay, so first of all we will find out the value of Ixx. It is given by uh, capital BD cube by 12 minus small bd cube by 12. Okay, so on putting the value of capital BD cube by 12 minus small bd cube of 12, we have moment of inertia about Ixx 2.8267 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. This is the value of moment of inertia about x axis. In the same way, we will find out Iyy also. It is given by capital db cube by 12 minus small db cube by 12. Now it is about y axis. So after putting the value of db cube, capital db cube by 12 minus small db cube by 12, we will have the final answer of Iyy 4.107 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. Okay, so as per the Euler's formula, pi square ei upon L effective square, we have I is nothing but I minimum. Okay, so we are going to consider the minimum value of Ixx and Iyy. So we will have I minimum equal to 2.8267 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So put the value of E, I and L effective square into this particular equation of crippling formula. We will have final answer 372 kilonewton. We will have the final answer 372 kilonewton. Actually it is 371.98 kilonewton. So rounding it to the higher value, we will have the 372 kilonewton. Okay, so this is the crippling load which we have found out by using the Euler's formula for the given end condition. Now we will discuss the next numerical based on the same concept. The problem statement is as follows. Calculate the shape compressive load on hollow cast iron column with one end rigidly fixed and other end hinged. The column having 150 mm external diameter and 100 mm internal diameter and 10 meter length. Use Euler's formula with the factor of safety equal to 5. Take E is equal to 95 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per mm square. Okay, so as per the given statement, we have to find out the value of safe compressive load. We have to find out the value of safe compressive load. So the safe compressive load can be given by it is nothing but it is the crippling load. It is the ratio of crippling load divided by factor of safety. Remember that safe compressive load can be given by crippling load divided by the factor of safety. So first of all, we will require to find out the value of crippling load. Okay, and after finding out the value of crippling load, we will divide it by the factor of safety. Okay, and it will give you the value of safe compressive load. So as per the given data, we have one end fixed and other hinged. As one end is fixed and other is hinged, L effective length is given by L upon root 2, or we can see it as a 0.7 L. Okay, so on putting the value of L into this particular equation, we have effective length 3535.5 mm. 3535.5 mm. Okay, this is the value of L effective. After that, we have to find out the value of I minimum, but as it is a circular cross section, so Ixx and Iyy both are same, so no need to consider it as a I minimum. It is just only the I. Okay, therefore I is equal to pi by 64 into capital D raised to 4 minus small d raised to 4, because it is a hollow cross section. Therefore, on putting the value of capital D, external diameter and internal diameter, we will have the value of moment of inertia 19.94 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. This is the value of moment of inertia. Okay, so put the value of moment of inertia and effective length into the formula, into the Euler's formula. So we will have pi square into 95 into 10 raised to 3 into 19.94 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 3535.5 bracket square. Okay, so we will have the crippling load 1495.84 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So around in kilonewton it will become 1495.84 kilonewton. So in this manner, first of all, we have find out the value of crippling load. Now dividing it by the factor of safety, it will give you the safe load, and it is 299.17 kilonewton. 299.17 kilonewton. So in this manner, again, by using Euler's formula and by using the concept of factor of safety, we have find out the value of safe compressive load. Now we will move to the next numerical, and the problem statement is as follows. An alloy tube 25 mm internal diameter and 40 mm external diameter, when subjected to axial tensile force of 60 kN, it undergoes an extension of 3.84 mm over its 3 meter length. What is its safe axial load resisting capacity as a column when one end is fixed and other is hinged? Take factor of safety equal to 4. So we have the value of factor of safety as a 4. So as per the given data, we have an alloy tube which is 25 mm in internal diameter and 40 mm external diameter. It is subjected to a tensile force of 60 kilonewton. Now remember that it is not a crippling load, it is a tensile force. Okay, and due to that 60 kilonewton load, the extension of that particular alloy tube is 3.84 mm. Okay, over the length of 3 meter. We have to find out the safe axial load. Again, it is a it can be given by crippling load divided by the factor of safety. So first of all, we will require to find out the value of crippling load. But if you observe this particular statement carefully, in that particular statement the value of E is not given. The value of E is not given. Okay, so first of all, we will require to find out the value of E by using PL upon AE is equal to delta L formula. Okay, so that we are going to discuss in the coming step. Okay, so we have to find out the shape axial load. First of all, we will find out the value of area. As it is a hollow tube, area can be given by pi by 4 into capital D square minus small d square. Okay, so on putting the value of external and the internal diameter, we have the area 765.76 mm square. Okay, this is the area which we are going to consider to find out the value of E. Now the effective length can be given by, as one end is fixed and other is hinged, effective length is L upon under root of 2. Therefore it is 2121.32 mm, 2121.32 mm. Okay, now value of I is pi by 64 d raised to 4 minus small d raised to 4. So on putting the value of external and internal diameter, again we will have the value of moment of inertia 106.49 into 10 raised to 3 mm raised to 4. Now we have find out the value of effective length, we have find out the value of moment of inertia. Now we are going to find out the value of E. Okay, so E can be given by PL upon A into delta L, PL upon A into delta L. Therefore the value of P which is given in the numerical is 60 kilonewton. Therefore it will become 60 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. The value of L is 3000, only L, not effective length. It is the value of length only, not effective length. Okay, so it is 3000 divided by area into delta L. Delta L is 3.84. So the value of E is 61.213 into 10 raised to 3 MPa. Okay, so once you know the value of I, once you know the value of E and L effective, we can easily find out the value of crippling load. Okay, so you just put all those value into the formula of Euler's crippling load. So we will have the final answer of crippling load 14.3 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. 14.3 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. So in kilonewton it will become 14.3 kilonewton. Okay, therefore the shape axial load can be given by crippling load divided by the factor of safety. We have the value of factor of safety as a 4. So the final answer will be 3.575 kilonewton. 3.575 kilonewton. So in this manner we have find out the value of shape axial load which is carried by a alloy hollow circular tube. So we will stop here. In the next lecture again we will discuss the numerical based on the concept of Euler's formula. So we will stop here. Thank you.